2. Have you ever stopped to think about the magic in your wallet or on your phone? That little tap to pay, that instant transfer, that number on your screen, it feels so normal, right? But the story of how we got here is an epic tale of revolution, genius, and a constant quest to make our lives easier. This isn't just about coins and paper. It's about the very ideas that built the modern world. Today, we're diving deep into the key financial innovations that changed money forever. Let's rewind the clock. Way back, before kings and empires, if you had a surplus of grain and needed a pot, you had to find someone with a pot who wanted your grain. This is bartering, and it was complicated. It required a double coincidence of wants. What if the potter didn't need grain? What if your grain would spoil before you found a trade? It was inefficient and limited the growth of communities. The world needed a better way. And so, the first revolution was born, the invention of money itself. Around 3,000 years ago, societies started using objects with intrinsic value as a medium of exchange. Think cowrie shells in Africa, salt bars in ancient Rome. Yes, that's where the word salary comes from, or cacao beans for the Aztecs. These items were durable, divisible, and widely accepted. But carrying around a sack of shells wasn't exactly convenient. The real game changer came with the Lydians, in modern-day Turkey. Around 600 BC, they were the first to mint standardized coins from a gold and silver alloy called electrum. For the first time, value was guaranteed by a state authority. You no longer had to weigh the metal. You just had to count the coins. This supercharged trade allowed for precise pricing and made economies explode in complexity and scale. For over 1,000 years, metal coins were king. But they were heavy, risky to transport, and limited by the supply of precious metals. The next leap forward came from an unexpected place, 7th century Tang Dynasty China. Merchants, tired of lugging around heavy strings of coins for large transactions, began leaving their cash with a trusted agent and receiving a paper receipt. These receipts, known as flying money, could then be traded as if they were the coins themselves. This was the birth of paper money. It was a revolutionary idea. The value wasn't in the material itself, but in the promise it represented. When Marco Polo brought these stories back to Europe, people were skeptical. A worthless piece of paper standing in for gold. It sounded like madness. But the convenience was undeniable, and by the 17th century, European banks and governments began issuing their own official banknotes. This decoupling of value from physical material paved the way for modern finance. With paper money circulating, the stage was set for the next big innovation, banking as we know it. While early forms of banking existed for millennia, the Italian Renaissance saw the rise of modern banking giants, like the Medici Bank. They didn't just store money. They introduced double-entry bookkeeping, a system of debits and credits that allowed for a crystal-clear view of financial positions. This accounting miracle made managing vast sums of money and complex international trades not just possible, but efficient. It was the operating system for the commercial revolution. At the same time, the concept of credit and lending became more sophisticated. Instead of just lending out the gold they had in their vaults, banks realized they could lend out more money than they physically held. Based on the statistical reality that not everyone would demand their cash back at once. This is called fractional reserve banking, and it's the engine that powers modern economies by creating new money and fueling investment and growth. The Industrial Revolution brought steam engines, factories, and the stock market. While early stock exchanges existed before, the 19th and 20th centuries saw them become central to economic life. Suddenly, you didn't need to be a wealthy merchant to invest in a business. Companies could raise enormous amounts of capital by selling small pieces of ownership shares to the general public. This democratized investment and funded the construction of railroads, canals, and massive industrial enterprises that would have been impossible for any single individual to finance. The stock market became a powerful tool for wealth creation and a barometer for the health of the entire economy. It allowed people to share in the risks and rewards of business on an unprecedented scale. Now, let's jump to a revolution that everyone watching this has experienced firsthand: the digital transformation. It started quietly in the 1950s with the first credit cards, which separated the act of payment from the physical exchange of cash. Then came ATMs in the 60s, giving us 24/7 access to our money. But the true earthquake was the internet. The 1990s and 2000s brought online banking, allowing us to manage our accounts from home. Then came PayPal, which made sending money across the globe as easy as sending an email. And in the last decade, smartphones have put a bank, a stockbroker, and a payment terminal right in our pockets. Venmo, Apple Pay, contactless payments, these have fundamentally changed our relationship with money, making it faster, more abstract, and more integrated into our daily lives than ever before. And the revolution isn't over. We are living through the next chapter right now with the rise of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. Starting with Bitcoin in 2009. This innovation introduced the idea of a decentralized digital currency, secured by cryptography and maintained by a global network of computers, not a central bank or government. Blockchain, the underlying technology, offers a secure and transparent way to record transactions of any kind, potentially transforming everything from finance and supply chains to voting systems. While still in its early and volatile stages, it challenges the very definition of money and who controls it. Are we on the cusp of a world with no physical cash, a world where financial authority is distributed among everyone? The questions are massive, and the answers are still being written. From Lydian coins to Bitcoin, the history of money is a story of human ingenuity. Each innovation wasn't just about making transactions easier. It was about building trust, enabling collaboration, and unlocking new possibilities for society to grow and prosper. The abstract numbers on our screens today are the result of thousands of years of problem solving. So the next time you tap your phone to buy a coffee, take a moment to appreciate the long chain of revolutions that made that simple act possible. What do you think the next financial revolution will be? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this journey through financial history interesting, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the ideas that shape our world. See you next time.